Hey everyone, let's take a look at today's game in the World Chess Championship versus Ding Liren and Gukesh. Ding Liren is the defending champion, as many of you probably already know. Whereas Gukesh, this young man, this 18-year-old guy from India, Ding Liren is from China, by the way. Uh, Gukesh is trying to get the title himself. He's the challenger, and this is game 11 of the match. At this point, the players are still tied, although you can see the score here, so spoiler. Uh, but uh, but yeah, I mean they were tied at this point, but with winning only one game each, the rest were all draws. And also the games that were won were very early on, were like the few first games. Like Ding Liren won the first one with the black pieces, and then like oh no, two games after that, then I believe it was game number three that Gukesh won. And so right now, if they went to the tie breaks, then Gukesh would be in. I mean, Ding Liren, as I'm told, would be the favorite because if we take their elo into consideration, which is usually the measure of a player's strength, a bit approximate, obviously. I mean, like all these kinds of measures, they are not like very super exact, but I mean, like the thing would be the favorite probably in the rapid portion of the event if they go to those faster time controls for the tie breaks. So it looked as if Ding were trying to drag out the game, the match, to get all draws until he gets into that point of the tie breaks when he would like his chances for the win perhaps. So the game ends with a ready opening. Like already Gukesh is going for a little bit of an imbalance here. He plays over here c4, putting pressure on the center. This is not a free pawn because I mean eventually you're going to grab it back like this. Or, I mean it's just sort of like if you're familiar with like the Queen's Gambit kind of thing. Like I mean you play here and here. I mean you're striking in the center, pretty much same thing, only in a slightly different way. Okay, this pawn gets pushed. Then we get like this chain of pawns at some point. Okay, this gets traded. This pawn is very far advanced, but I mean that means like when you have a pawn like this, it's really difficult to defend. So so it's kind of like you get like overextended in a way. And then this chain of pawns happens, and this is right about here was when I tuned in for the game. I think it was right around here. Like you have this chain of pawns over here. This bishop over here doesn't have much of a life. If you go over here, you have like a battery, and it looks like your bishop is coming a little bit to life. But I mean, you're not targeting anything, and you have the queen in front of the bishop, so not good. So therefore, by discarding all the other options, you have to fianchetto, right? And the bishop will live fine on the long diagonal, and it will become a very crucial piece in the future, as you will see. So the knight goes over here. So other ideas like eventually, right now this is protected, but this could be an outpost for the knight, uh, and also this could be an idea in the future if you were to like say, well, I want to like get an opposite colored bishop middle game or end game or whatever. I mean, right now it would be middle game, but I mean, like in the future, like this could be a thing. I mean, you could jump in there. Like this is a weak square on White's camp. Let us not forget that you can also push this pawn, and then you just support that with a pawn. So this could be an outpost. This could be an outpost in the future, not right now. And so there are ideas like that, right? And also your knight is really nicely centralized over here. It's already hitting something, and you're only defending it with the queen. And so this knight goes back over here, rerouting as it turns out to here, where he hits the queen and hits this, putting more pressure even, and centralizing. Castles hits over here, and immediately pins this knight. Gukesh pins the knight, so that now if you were to like take over here, you would lose the game on the spot because you lose your queen. And if you were to if you were to take over here, what happens? That's not currently defended. If you do it to take over here, what happens exactly? Okay, never mind. I wasn't stop to think about that, but I remember during the game I did think about that, and for some reason that also wasn't a great possibility, but I can't remember now how. So um, goes over here. Defense. Oh yeah, it was because of that. Yeah, yeah. Now I remember why. Yeah, now I remember why. Okay, sorry about that lapse over there. Yeah, you take over here. I mean, this is a free pawn. I remember I saw that during the stream, but then now I completely forgot. Like I mean, why wasn't this possible? Yeah, I mean, this naturally. So this gets defended. Now this is a threat. So the rook comes over here to defend. Again, I mean, you might say, oh, this is defended by a rook, so I can actually take. No, you can't take because, I mean, the point is that after takes and takes, you lose the queen and lose the game. So you can't do that. Even though, I mean, you could argue, oh, yeah, like I can sort of get something for it, but I mean, you're still losing a queen. You're losing material. You're losing a game. Um, Material. I mean, I pronounced that really weird. So this move gets played. Idea, first of all, you're strengthening this pawn, but more importantly, you're freeing squares for your pieces. Like this knight over here, before it didn't have much of a prospect because if it went over here, it's just taken, first of all. It couldn't go over here because this pawn was here, which is what this fixes. And if it goes over here, it blocks the vision of the rook on the pawn that is currently under attack. So if you were to go over here, then potentially this is just a free pawn. And then this pawn gets pushed. So idea, again, look at the squares that get freed. This bishop now has the option of developing over here with some pressure on the queen. I mean, when you have the queen in front of a bishop, yes, you have a battery, but the point is that the queen is first. This move gets played. Interesting move. I mean, obviously you can't take. This is not a gambit because I mean, if you take over here, then you lose the knight with a tempo of the rook and lose the game on the spot. So you can't do that. So basically, you had these two options here. Ding went into a very long thing, and went like this. He went like, okay, I have to, obviously, like there are lots of piece interactions here that I mentioned here during the stream. Like you have like this targeting that. This is defending. Then you have this over here. This is the only thing that's defending it. So this queen is kind of overworked a little bit. It's helping in the defense of this, defending that, defending that. Sorry, and this is pinned. Like there are lots of interactions between the pieces here, and this queen is fulfilling a lot of defensive duties, which ended up backfiring in the end. Sort of spoiler alert. So and I did mention this before before it backfired as well. So yeah, take a little bit of pride in that. So moves over here, right? And then the only other option apparently was this. I mean that seems sensible in the immediate future. I don't know, it backfires for some other reasons potentially. It goes over here immediately. This gets played immediately because well, obviously, if your opponent has basically two moves, I mean, calculating what you're going to do in every one of them is pretty. I mean, it's like something you can do on your opponent's time, right? Like, I mean, it's different when you have to think about several other options and you have to think what is my opponent going to do in every single one of them. But here, there's basically two options. So Gukesh was probably thinking what to do even before he played this move. So play this move and this instantly played, and this also instantly played. Like, it's the queen over here, so Again, lots of interactions between the pieces. This hits that. This hits this. This is well, it's not pinned anymore because you move the queen over here, so no longer pinned. This is knight, but this is pinned over here. So yeah, lots of piece interactions in all sorts of ways here along the diagonals, which is interesting thing to behold. So this gets taken, hitting the queen. Queen takes. Queen goes over here, hitting that, which used to be defended by a knight. And basically, what seems like the only defense is what gets played, which is this. Because I mean, otherwise, this is getting hit twice, and yeah, I mean, like it's pretty pretty tough to defend all of that, right? This goes over here. The knight develops to this side. Like again, this square was freed a couple of moves ago, and the knight is potentially headed to this nice outpost, or maybe it's moving somewhere else, or maybe, and this is what happened in the game, it's that it frees this square so that you can protect the pawn and also like get some. I mean, not necessarily protect the pawn. I mean, you give up the pawn. I mean, which is what happened. But you have pressure down here, like on the semi-open file. So now, if this queen takes, then with a tempo, you gain activity. Like all of a sudden, the pieces of white's pieces are all coming to life after this move got played. Everything comes to life. Like okay, Ding defends this first before going over here because otherwise, after this, then so things are looking really, really bad. As you move the queen, you lose this, and probably lose the game immediately. I'm not even going to calculate everything, but I mean, this loses its defender over here, and the queen is around there, so everything gets hit. You lose, probably lose a piece immediately at the very least. So first defense over here goes over here. By the way, this knight continue rerouting, and I believe. Yeah, I believe this happened and this happened and this happened, something like that, so that it puts pressure over here. So yeah, the knight continues rerouting, finding a good spot, and rook comes over here, hits the queen. Now you have the option of like doubling up over here to put pressure over there, which is what actually happened in the game. Rook went over here, very active, and also defended just in case. Like I mean, always nice when you have a very active piece on the enemy camp. Like this is, it's on enemy territory, and preparing to double up and put more pressure. Knight goes over here. Another idea. I mean, I said like preparing to double up. I don't remember if doubling up eventually happened in the game, but yeah, that's what I thought when I saw this. But this was another idea, keeping rerouting the knight, going for pressure over here, and threatening to maybe make the jump over there as well. Overly defense over here, he realizes that his position is in dire straits and he has to, keep defending. Like Ding has shown like a really, really great defensive potential in this game, and I mean in this match, like he has been really, really good at defending in really tough positions where he has to find only moves. Even sometimes, like in the opening, he has been out prepared and he has had to think about to think long and come up with the right move. Like here, this is deep into the middle game, but still, like yeah, he has been a good defender. So you might think, oh well, I mean maybe he will find a way, but it's not looking good. It's not looking good. Like there's lots of pressure everywhere. Now there's this knight putting pressure over here too, like adding pressure to that, which is currently only defended this way. This gets played. Idea to move the rook over here, because otherwise this jump comes. And hitting this, like knocking at the door everywhere, and it happens. Goes over here. Like more pressure. The pressure keeps piling up. There's this, lots of pressure on the position. Like this is also how when games are won, wins are games. I almost say like this is how games are won at the highest level of chess. Like pressure, 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 and eventually something will give, right? Like it's a very the thing is after the pieces are so overloaded like this, like I mean, the queen was completely overloaded, doing defensive roles, playing for a very long time, and eventually it's just too much. It's just overloaded. It has to defend too many things. All the pieces are having to perform defensive duties. Like here, pressure, more pressure. Like I mean, this pawn is just you know way under attack. But there's also this. Don't forget about that. Remember, like I mean, the bishop Yankedo very early in the game. It looked like a little bit more innocent, perhaps at that point, because there was only this pawn on that diagonal. Queen goes over here, and boom, the game ends immediately. Resignation. And the point is that this is a completely free piece. Like I mean, eventually all that pressure pays off. Having this queen overloaded during the whole game ended up backfiring, and of course Gukesh did an impressive job by sacrificing this pawn over here and seeing that that would free all the pieces, make them become active. Like they were all in back rank, they were all dead. If you look like back here, like I much preferred Black's position. I was like, yeah, man, like Black is calling the shots basically, and then this happens, and all of a sudden, White is the one calling the shots. Like it's a really good position, just for one pawn, just at the cost of one pawn. All the pieces come to life, and it's pretty much over until it ends. Just like this, in one swift strike, thing goes down. You take the piece again. I didn't explain yet why you can't like. First of all, you can't take over here because takes, and then if you take over here, then you lose this. And also on top of that, you're putting insane amounts of pressure over here, so there's no way of defending that. You only have two rooks that can defend that square, and so it's completely over. On top of that, you can't take the bishop because the rook falls with check. So you can't do that. And if you try to take like the way that you would like to take, you say, well, I want to take with a pawn, a queen, and yeah, this comes over here, and you're pinning the queen. Let's remember that there was a knight over here. White just got a knight, and then you pin this over here, and you're completely winning. So White snatches a piece and wins the game on the spot. That puts Gukesh, as you can see, at 6 out of 11 right now versus 5 out of 11 for Ding Liren. Ding Liren in dire straits. He has still 2 games with White left, but it's going to be really tough. Really tough. I mean, now he can't trust his strategy of going to tie breaks. I mean, if this was his strategy, I mean, it seemed that way. And now we're probably going to see much more fighting chess. Let's see how it goes for both players. Let's see if Gukesh can keep this advantage during the last, like 3 rounds? 3 rounds left. Let's see if he can do that when he's going to have 2 games with the black pieces and 1 with white, or if if Ding Liren is going to be able to make a comeback and defend the title. So yeah, really interesting games ahead for sure. I mean, probably probably we will see a Ding Liren that's much more in a fighting spirit, trying to win, and probably a Gukesh that's going to try to secure this advantage because he only needs 3 draws in order to be world champion. So, thanks for watching this video. If you like it, please leave a like and subscribe. It helps me a lot, and I'm extremely thankful for all the support. Take care, and I hope I see you around in the next one. Also, leave comments, feedback, things you like, things you don't like. Everything is helpful, and yeah, stay tuned. Bye.